It's Monday, February 23rd, 2015, and let's talk about what happened this weekend over at xdadevelopers.com. First up, some potentially big news if you're an iOS user. XDA recognized developer Mohammed AG figured out a way to get the iPhone to communicate with Android Wear, and he posted a YouTube video showing it forwarding notifications to his Moto 360. From the video description and his posts on Reddit, he says he used the ANCS, or the Apple Notification Center service, which allows iOS devices to send notifications to Bluetooth accessories. And on Reddit, he mentioned he put together an APK on the watch that uses the Android Bluetooth LE APIs to connect to ANCS on the iPhone, although currently it's only hard-coded to work with his specific iPhone. No other specifics about it have been made available yet, but I'm sure it's just a matter of time before we know a lot more. Also, since it's just sending notifications, it isn't really a full replacement for tethering your watch to an Android device to receive Wear apps, Google Now updates, or even to interact with your phone's apps, but I guess something is better than nothing. Moving right along, apparently XDA forum member DK Shelotra managed to pull a dump of Android 5.1 off of an Indonesian Android One device, and he's made it publicly available. He says it should work on all of the Android One devices, and he provides some simple steps for how to flash it onto your device, so if you've got one of those Android One devices and you're curious about it, check out his thread for all the details. Now, we've talked about Exposed making its way to Lollipop a couple of times now, and as such, we're gonna start to see more and more modules getting updated to work with it. As of this weekend, XDA recognized developer C3C076 released an updated version of GravityBox for Lollipop. If you're not familiar with it, GravityBox brings CMPie controls, quick settings tile management, navigation bar tweaks, LED settings, and advanced power menu, lock screen mods, just tons and tons of features onto your device that runs Exposed. There are still some features from the previous version of GravityBox that aren't working yet and probably will not be working, like lock screen wallpaper changing, some volume panel control features, and so on and so forth. But from the article, those missing features apparently are obsolete in Lollipop. So if you haven't tried it yet, and you've been looking at all the Exposed Lollipop modules, this is definitely one you should probably take a look at. Now on to some unofficial ROM stories. XDA senior member JBats put out Dirty Unicorns, an AOSP-based Lollipop ROM for the Verizon Galaxy S4. Reading through the thread, a few people seem to be having intermittent issues with it, so do make sure you follow the instructions when you're flashing it to your device, and read through the forum thread just to sort of keep an eye out for updates and just see if other people are having issues. XDA recognized themer StangDriver44 put out a list of mods for the T-Mobile Galaxy S5 that he's put together to remove some common annoyances on the device, as well as adding in-call recording and unlimited tethering, as well as like 600 new fonts. He's got a ROM including all of these mods coming out in the next few days as well, so if you've got the T-Mobile S5, you may want to take a look at that. XDA senior member Goo posted an official port of FlymeOS 4.1.2R for the Galaxy Note 3 N900X. There were initially some problems with it with an incompatible GApps package causing cloud service issues, but that was very quickly taken care of, and now people are just having problems with the S Pen functions not working, the external SD card not being recognized properly, and there are potentially some issues with the dialer app, so do make sure to read through the thread before you dive into it if that sounds interesting to you at all. Also, XDA member Pawanz put together a guide for setting up a dual boot system on the Xiaomi Redmi 1S, so if you're a flashaholic and you've got that device, you might want to take a look at that. But just keep in mind that following his guide is going to completely wipe your device, so make sure you make the appropriate backups beforehand. Now moving on to some other stories I just found interesting and entertaining. This week OnePlus posted about a designer who developed a 3D printable virtual reality headset for the OnePlus One. Unfortunately, I am sadly lacking in the 3D printer department for now, but from the article and from the forum post, I don't see any actual downloadable blueprints for it, so I don't think I'm missing out on anything quite yet. Additionally, a discussion was started on the portal this weekend about whether or not wireless charging matters to you, so if you want to contribute to that, links down below. Personally, I've used both Qi charging and PMA charging in the past, Qi charging with the Nexus 5 and PMA with the Asus Padphone X, and I think it's really convenient, but I don't think it's a make or break feature for me. I will say it's nice to be able to sit my phone down on a pad and just have it start charging without having to hunt for USB cables or try to plug things in the dark. But like I said, it doesn't really make or break whether or not I'm gonna buy a device. And finally, Mario posted an article to the portal this weekend that's the first part in a series talking about the philosophy behind free software. But you know what, that's going to be about all for me for today. You can find the links to all the stories I talked about down in the video description as usual, as well as the links to my YouTube channels. Remember, if you like this video, leave us a like down below the video, please. We definitely appreciate it. And subscribe to receive all of our content as soon as it becomes available. Thanks for watching though, and I will see you next time.